What raindrops are to plants is what humanity is to the world. We warmly welcome you to celebrate those who embrace the whole of humanity in this vibrant world. Welcome to Sri Lanka Foundation Award Ceremony 2022. Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Exceptional Achievement Award winners. Outstanding Performance by Young Professional Award winners. Rising Star Award winners. Outstanding Achievement Junior Award winner. Sri American of the Year Award winner. President's Award winner. Outstanding Community Service Award winners.
As a beautiful here in downtown Los Angeles.
I'm Walter Jayasinghe, the Director of Cultural Affairs at Sri Lanka Foundation.
And I am Walter Jayasinghe. I'm one of your co-MCs today. I will tell you this, it is wonderful to see past winners, new winners. This is the first time, friends, in 4 years we've been able to have this. Let's hear it, 4 years. We're back. We're back. So get ready for an amazing show. Celebrate, enjoy. What a wonderful community we have today, and that's what it is all day long. Let's do this.
And I'm PERAHERA, your other co-MC for today. Sri Lanka Foundation began the tradition of honoring Sri Lankan expatriates from around the world for following their dreams and soaring to new heights amidst a simple gathering of just 200 guests in 2003 to over 500 guests in 2022. Continuing this rich tradition, this afternoon we are gathered here to honor 25 exceptional Sri Lankan expatriates.
Yes!
everyone please rise for the national anthems of Sri Lanka and USA.
Now I would like to invite the Chairman of Sri Lanka Foundation International USA to address the audience.
Hello everybody, good morning. I would say good noon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is after a long break, we are having the Foundation Awards. As I said at the last awards, this is one of those rare occasions where Sri Lankans are celebrating their friends and their associates' successes without pulling them down. And here we are, this whole crowd here, they're all here to cheer the successes of fellow men and women. A very rare thing for our country because we always keep pulling people down. So here are people of real worth. Each one of you have spent your morning, your day, your money to cheer people who have done well in their lives and in their professions and in their careers and for the sake of the country, for the sake of humanity. So welcome everyone, and I wish everyone a great day, and thank you very much for attending.
Now I would like to invite the President of Sri Lanka Foundation International USA, Dr. Jayasinghe, to say a few words.
Welcome all to this event. So happy to see how many people are around. So, do you notice we're in a new location? For those of you who haven't been here before, we did this because we realized there's a lot more people who want to come and celebrate the winners. Isn't that cool? Yes. So we're really celebrating all together. Dr. J talks about celebrating the winners. Thank you. Well, what does that mean, winners? Do you know what that means? Like, because they won the Sri Lanka Foundation Awards presentation? Is that what they mean? Yeah, someone said yes. Someone said no, and that's the correct answer. They're winners in life, like their own lives. And everyone's, I hope, a winner in their life, but probably won't be here today. But they're winners in their life and have created a better life for others. So everyone get a awards booklet when they walked in? Okay, so please read those. This presents to you why they were even considered to be awardees tonight. So when we look at that, we decide, okay, you know, other people, the other judges are deciding, but everyone that basically applies are winners. And today, my father, the chairman, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe, has mentioned that we are so excited that you are here to then applaud their life. And we humbly give this award to them because we haven't done what they've done. You know, maybe Dr. J has done a lot, and definitely. Give a round to Dr. J. He's the man of the night. He doesn't like the applause, but we do it anyway. But the point is that he really cares about this idea, and I believe Sri Lanka Foundation innately cares about it. We don't want the applause, we don't want the credit, it's their credit, and we humbly give it to them for what they've done to continue, obviously, helping them push that along, but also to help others that we know, our network, be inspired by what they've done. So our network is expanding. We're going globally, so a lot of other Sri Lankans around the world can get to know these exceptional Sri Lankan individuals. So with that in mind, we have one other thing that we like to do with all the awardees, and that's the Alumni Association that we're working with, and we've had some talks like yesterday, the first talk, about what we're going to do. So just, if you don't know, we're getting all the award winners over the last 15, 20 years or something to come together and start strategizing our future efforts in the direction of how we can help the world, but specifically Sri Lanka as an island. And I feel like everyone loves to give back to the island that the country that gave them free education and helped and supported them on their way to success. And so with their help, we're going to discover and delineate what activities we can do to further push that country along, to further help those Sri Lankans to be successful. So thank you very much to all the awardees that are here tonight, and thank you for all for being here, and have a great night. Thank you.
Next is the opening dance. Our opening dance is brought to you by the Sri Lanka Foundation Academy of Performing Arts. Today's performance is a traditional Sri Lankan Canadian dance performance that brings the blessings to the ceremony. The performance is done by Nirosha Vijaygunasekara and Akila Palipana. They are our external dance instructors, arrived in USA just 2 days ago. She's there all the way from Sri Lanka. They are our own dance instructors, and along with them, we do have our own dance instructor from Los Angeles joining the Umedra Khandavarachi. Please welcome them to the stage. Enjoy.
So, for the Outstanding Achievement of Junior Award, this goes to Ashley Ashan Palipana for his excellence in community service and role model. Unfortunately, he could not make it here today. But please, round of applause.
Next, we have the Rising Star Award, PERAHERA Mudyansalagi, for his excellence in civil engineering, machine learning, and homogenization and design of technical textiles for space structure. PERAHERA Mudyansalagi is awarded the Rising Star for his research in the rapid boost in the additive manufacturing of textiles and the trending machine learning field and the potentials to use them in the domain of computational mechanics for efficient numerical simulations. Unfortunately, he is not present here with us to accept his award, but let's give him a big round of applause.
Yes. We now have another Rising Star Award. Let's hear it for Dr. Zanab Iftikhar for her excellence in philanthropic endeavors, academic achievement, and as also an author. Dr. Iftikhar is awarded the Rising Star for her outstanding philanthropic endeavors, academic achievements, and in the field of medicine, and for the award based on 2 published books. In 2015, Dr. Iftikhar published her very first book titled Poverty is Not Passivity, intended to bring out the emotions that lie behind the turmoil of poverty. Her second book was published in 2019 titled The Panacea is Possible and was directed towards water contamination in the north central province of Sri Lanka. She founded the MEI Foundation in 2016 as NGO based in Kandy with the vision to motivate, encourage, and inspire individuals to join hands in uplifting the underprivileged. Ever since, she has been doing small projects solely supported by her parents, her family, and friends. She wishes to continue these wonderful endeavors as she continues to do her profession. In July 2021, Dr. Iftikhar was selected as the winner of the Women's Achievement Award 2021 by the very prestigious McKinsey & Company. She was selected this award based on her 2 published novels, as well as her community service through the NGO she founded in Sri Lanka. We now would love to invite Mr. Muni Akbar to present this award.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Foundation, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe, President Dr. Dishanda Jayasinghe, Vice President Madam Aisha Jayasinghe, members of Sri Lanka Foundation, dignitaries, fellow awardees, ladies and gentlemen, Aibawan, Assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon. Firstly, my appreciation for the Sri Lanka Foundation for creating such a wonderful platform to recognize the talents of the people from the land of the lions. Congratulations, respected awardees. I'm indeed very honored to be sharing the joy of this day beside such an exemplary group of people. Thank you to my parents, Kifaya and Iftikhar. Whose endless sacrifices, ambition, and relentless hard work continue to shape me into a better person every single day. Thank you to my dearest family and friends who are always the first ones to encourage me and cheer me on. And thank you to my beloved alma mater, Al Faisal University College of Medicine. I was fortunate enough to attend Al Faisal, one of the top universities in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ranking #1 in Saudi Arabia and the Arab region. I wanted to share this with you all today because Al Faisal has played a monumental role in my success story, both as a budding physician and as a future leader. Special thanks to my Dean of the College of Medicine, Professor Khalid Al-Qattan, and the Vice Dean, Dr. Akif Obeidat, for their great mentorship and guidance. Rising Star, a pretty hefty title and a pretty hefty award I'm holding here. But behind it was a simple story of a little girl's aspiration to follow in the footsteps of her mother, who always sought ways to give back to her community. MEI Foundation started as a humble NGO in 2016, a year after the launch of my first book, Poverty is Not Passivity. All these efforts from my books and the NGO were directed towards making a difference in the lives of the less fortunate in Sri Lanka, even if it meant we were helping just one person for one moment at a time. MEI, which stands for Motivation, Encouragement, and Inspiration, is a slogan to invoke a positive change in the lives of the destitute by using these very three components. This is the ideology behind Poverty is Not Passivity and Panacea is Possible, my second book, both trying to induce and introduce and discuss community issues, inculcating the belief in a better tomorrow. Through the countless platforms that I came by, I made it my goal to raise awareness on the gift of giving. Not just giving in terms of wealth, but also giving in terms of compassion and hope. Giving in terms of your time and goodwill. For you see, ladies and gentlemen, the smallest acts of kindness can really go a long way. Having a hot meal after days of starvation, a child who has a new pencil that he can take to school, or a mother who has just a few extra rupees in her pocket to pay her long-due electricity bill. They view these little moments as blessings, blessings that we can give back to, blessings and moments that we are capable of giving back in the capacities that we are able to. And sometimes all it takes is an undying Sri Lankan spirit of hospitality and togetherness. Currently, our next project in Sri Lanka, titled RPSL, Relief Project for Sri Lanka, run by the MEI Foundation, is directed towards providing underprivileged families in Sri Lanka with basic meals. With that, I'd like to end by saying that for as long as I'm able to, I hope to keep supporting the people in our motherland to the best of my abilities. Thank you very much.
Next, for the outstanding performance by a young professional, Amit Boteju, for his excellence as a world-renowned musician, entrepreneur, producer, and philanthropist. Amit Boteju is awarded the outstanding performance by a young professional for his incredible talent as a rapper, songwriter, record producer, and entrepreneur. He has achieved so much at a very young age. Starting with small jobs in fashion and beauty, he was introduced to LA's celebrity scene and by way of his persistence, tenacity, and talent, became a part of it himself. Not only was his music recognized by megastar Akon after the release of Amit's debut single, Money Long, but so was his humanitarian side as he enlisted Akon to help him expand energy capacity and efficiency in Sri Lanka through solar initiatives as well done in Africa. Amit joined Akon in a business development capacity for his cryptocurrency. Akon established a real estate and finance company, Bridge Capital, that he since joined Ludis Capital as a venture partner, connecting the world of entertainment with technology entrepreneurs. While his friends included world-renowned athletes such as Lakers star Trevor Ariza and Dwight Howard, and entertainers Akon, Swiss Beats, Neo, and many others, Amit has learned how to leverage fame and entertainment for positive social impact, creating an incredible network of global influencers to support, inspire, and gain visibility for the people of his homeland. We would now like to call upon Mr. Rohan Sauja to present this award.
I hope you all are having a great afternoon. I'd like to first start off by saying thank you to the entire Sri Lankan Foundation and Dr. Jayasinghe for presenting me with this award. The reason I've been so fortunate to stand here with you all today is because of a simple decision that my beautiful grandmother took 25 years ago. Bringing me and my family over to America has brought a great deal of freedom and opportunities that I'm forever grateful for. So thank you, Grandma. The reason I am who I am today is because I truly believe it's because of my beautiful mother and father. At a young age, through the lens of my mother, I don't even think she realizes how much of an impact she had on me. When it was times like struggle and hardships at home, she taught us things like love and happiness. When it was dark, cloudy skies and rainy days, she showed us things like the sunset and rainbow. I truly believe a mother's love to a child is like no other. With her persistence, ambition, and perseverance, I believe I inherited a lot of her roots, so I thank you, Mom. But at the end of the day, I want you all to know I am no perfect human being. The awards, the accolades, the lifestyle is appreciated, but every day that God allows me to step foot on this earth, I have a responsibility for my people and my country. As I work towards my goals, I believe it is also vital to have having a self-reminder on how important it is to improve the development of your self-consciousness, to shift and pivot when need to, reconfiguring and finding that balance, whether that's through life, friends, work, or family. With this, I'm hoping to one day achieving the highest form of character a man can in this world. I believe in order to obtain success, you must first master things like common sense, punctuality, genuine relationship building, and certain skill set. You know, I wasn't the most smartest or talented, but I was the most persistent. What you see here standing in front of you all is someone who has failed over and over and over again. But taking no for an absolute answer, with patience, ambition, and relentless drive, just like my mother, I was determined. And as the perfect saying goes, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So no matter what life threw at me, my philosophy was just to always show up with a positive attitude, and I knew God would take care of the rest. And in closing, I would like to dedicate this award to my girlfriend, Shannon, who passed away in 2012. It has been a long journey, but nothing I take for granted in this life. 10 years she's been gone, and I'm still here, holding on to her word of one day being somebody successful. Thank you all.
We have another outstanding performance by a young professional award winner, Talin Silva. Talin Silva, for her excellence in singing, dancing, modeling, actress, she just seems to do it all. Talin has walked the runway at New York Fashion Week for chic fashion, has modeled for many brands including Claire's, Sherry Hill, Prom Girl, Fashion Nova, Juicy Couture, Macy's, and many, many, many more. Some of Talin's notable TV work includes 24, Private Practice, Children's Hospital, Jessica Darling. It's listed on Netflix and Webheads on Nickelodeon, and guest roles on Disney as well. Talin is also a professional dancer who represented by one of the top agencies in the country, which is Washia. She has danced for the Oscars, Kids' Choice Awards, and many, many more. As an artist, an A-list artist, she's worked with Justin Bieber, Mary J. Blige, and many, many more. Talin is actively working on releasing her new EP by the end of this very year. She's been in the studio crafting a unique, fresh sound in which she is thrilled to share with everyone. With new music comes new stepping stones. Talent is beyond excited to share with all of you as she's composing her very first single-lead song. Wow. You won't want to miss hearing all that she has to offer us. An upcoming project that is currently being produced behind the scenes is a Hulu docuseries in which Talent will be part of. To stay tuned for more as an artist, Talent is always striving to be the best role model she can be for her fans and for her audience. She's been involved in charity work for St. Jude's and along with the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. She's also been one of the inaugural members for the Sri Lanka Youth Organization here in Los Angeles. Giving back to the community is something that Talent stands by and truly supports. She will always dedicate her time to bring a smile to anyone in need with her massive open heart. Talent toured Europe. She's performed in 13 countries in a month's time, which was an unforgettable experience for her. Talent's heart was so full getting to perform and share her music and with the world and her fans across. When she returned from the tour, life didn't end there. She was back at it, putting in the work, and covered 24 states. That's right, 24 states in just 2 months. And it was one of those moments in Talent's musical life that she will never, ever forget and will be grateful for. It's all because of the support of her fans and her family and friends. We love to call upon Mr. Sanjeev Gunasekera to present this award.
Hello, everyone. Before I get into my speech, I would like to start off with a few thank yous. First, I would like to thank founder and CEO Aruni from SLYO for nominating me for this award, as well as founder Dr. Jay, the Sri Lankan Foundation, and the amazing hardworking staff for supporting my pathway to my dreams since I was 7 years old. This accomplishment is something that I did not do alone, and there are many others that deserve to share this award with me, including my producer Chris, choreographers, dancers who help bring my performance alive. And last but not least, I would like to thank my parents. Mom, Dad, Kay, thank you so much for believing me even in moments when I didn't even believe in myself. Thank you for sacrificing so much of your life to help me achieve my dreams. I can't express how much I love you guys and how grateful I am to have such a loving support system in my life helping me achieve my dreams. It's such a privilege to be receiving this Outstanding Performance Award by a young professional. To be nominated amongst so many other individuals is an incredible honor and privilege. It means so much to me that the work that I'm so passionate about also can resonate with others. Beginning my journey, I was very unsure as to where or what I wanted to do with this passion of mine. If you asked me where I would be 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't have an answer for you. Standing here today, receiving this award means so much to me. There are not even enough words to express my gratitude. I truly am living proof that hard work and determination, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. If there's something that you want in life, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Take that extra risk and be bold. Life is what you make of it. So put in the hours every day and strive to be the best version of yourself. Remember, you are doing this for yourself, so remain authentic to who you are and never change that. Take it from me, a proud Sri Lankan, to be in this industry. Although there's going to be a lot of bumps along the road, those bumps are what are going to be a helping hand leading into success. Last but not least, again, thank you to the Sri Lankan Foundation for recognition of artists who all around like myself. I hope that this recognition of my work can serve as an inspiration to the younger generation. If there's one thing I would like my audience to take away from my speech, is that your dreams are valid, no matter your age or where you're starting from. If you can vision it, you can achieve it. Thank you all.
Next, we have an outstanding performance by a young professional award winner, Rukshan Henry De Silva. Rukshan Henry De Silva for his excellence as a principal planner, building communities and the environment. Unfortunately, Rukshan could not be here with us today. But let's give him a big round of applause.
Please. And next, for Exceptional Achievement Award for Dr. Hasini Jayathilaka. Unfortunately, Dr. Jayathilaka can't join us today, but we are celebrating all the exceptional work for cancer research. Please give a round of applause.
Our next awardee, Professor Sharika Thiranagama, for her excellence in anthropology. But unfortunately, Professor Sharika Thiranagama could not be here with us today.
Well, let's give her a round of applause.
So you are now about to watch a fabulous fashion show that's produced and choreographed by Achala Veerasinghe. Please give a big round of applause to Achala and the fabulous, fantastic models.
Let's go!
Hard done by you. Some things look better, baby, just passing through. She's looking at you. Looking used to believe we were burning on the edge of something beautiful, something beautiful. Selling a dream, smoking mirrors keep us waiting on a miracle, on a miracle. They go through the darkest of days, having to heartbreak away. Never let you go, never let me down. Oh, it's been a hell of a ride, driving the edge of a knife. Never let you go, never let me down. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you, let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you, let me love you. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. We've got a million miles ahead of us, miles ahead of us. All that we need is a rude awakening to know we're good enough. Yeah, we're good enough. They go through the darkest of days, having to heartbreak away. Never let you go, never let me down. Oh, it's been a hell of a ride, driving the edge of a knife. Never let you go, never let me down. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you, let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you, let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Oh yeah, girl, you better have your hair strapped on tight. 'Cause once we get going, we rollin', we'll cha-cha till the morning. So just say alright, alright. If you ain't here to party, take your ass back home. If you get naughty, baby, here's my phone. Slide with your boy to the bar, slide with your boy to the car. I drunk it, looking for them girls with the big old hoops that drop it down and raise it dukes. I wanna get down. Yeah, them the ones I'm tryna recruit. I'm looking at you, yeah, you, baby. Ow. You got what I want. I got what you want. Girl, you got what I need. I got what you need. 37, 27, 42. Ooh, squeeze all of that in my coupe. Girl, I choose you. Chunk it.
I've been thinking that I want you, 'cause I'm caught up in every little thing you do. Am I dreaming? Yeah, I wonder, 'cause I'm caught up in every little thing you do. You got more than a piece of me, you got the whole thing. Think I'm stuck in my favorite dream, wake me up in 15. I'm obsessing and it's no good, but I don't even mind, no, I don't even mind. It goes on
for the second session.
It's not like they even want to. It's not like they even see beyond. They always wanna judge you before they know the field you're on. They don't even wanna look deep, nah. They just wanna throw the book at you. They don't wanna take the time to learn of all the good things you're up to. They don't know you like I do at all. They judge from what they see, that's cool, 'cause now there's more for me. If only they knew what's inside of your heart. There's so much going on, they got you all wrong, but that is not my fault. It's not like they even made a call. They saw your pictures and they know you, but they don't know you, no, not at all, no. It's not their fault that they are shallow. It's not their fault that they missed the boat, baby. But what they gonna do? What they gonna do with the info? They don't know you like I do at all. They judge from what they see, that's cool, 'cause now there's more for me. If only they knew what's inside of your heart. There's so much going on, they got you all wrong, but that is not my fault. I'm so glad I saw past the surface, got to know you. I'm hoping that the world can see you just like I do. But I'm not making my decisions on what they choose. No matter what I do, 'cause they don't know you like I do at all. They judge from what they see, that's cool, 'cause now there's more for me. If only they knew what's inside of your heart. There's so much going on, they got you all wrong, but that is not my fault. Yeah, that is not my fault.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me now present to you our featured models. Miss California State America for 2016, Miss America, and Mrs. Asia USA runner-up 2011. Representing Sri Lanka, give it up for Marina Das.
This is our place, we made the rules. And there's a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear. Have I known you 20 seconds or 20 years? Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out and take me home. You're my lover. We could let our friends crash in the living room. This is our place, we make the call. And I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you. I've loved you 3 summers now, honey.
Let me now introduce to you Mrs. Latina Global 2019 to 2021, Miss Sule Virakodi. Let us now put all our hands together to this beautiful Team Credit USA 2022, Mr. Lina Vijayaratnam.
Running through morning coffee, running through the hours talking. I like me better when you're with you. I like me better when you're with you. I need for the first time, I say for a long time, 'cause I like me better when, I like me better when you're with you.
If you want it, take it. I should have said it before. Try to hide it, fake it. I can't pretend anymore. I only wanna die alive, never by the hands of a broken heart. I don't wanna hear you lie tonight, now that I've become who I really am. You know I'm down for whatever tonight. I don't need the finer things in life. No matter where I go, it's a good time. Yeah. And I don't need to sit in VIP. Middle of the floor, that's where I'll be. Don't got a lot, but that's enough for me. Yeah. 'Cause I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best fucking night of my life. And wherever it takes me, I'm down for the ride. Baby, don't you know I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Don't you know I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. So I just let it go, let it go. Oh na 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 na, no I don't care no more, care no more. Oh na 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 na, so come on, let me know, let me know. Put your hands up, na na na, no baby, nothing's gonna stop us tonight. 'Cause I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best fucking night of my life. And wherever it takes me, I'm down for the ride. Baby, don't you know I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. I'ma need those eyes focusing on me. Middle of the night, I'm the only star you see. I'ma need those hands running over me. 'Cause I ain't that type to let you go easy. So say goodbye to every other girl in the night behind you. Now you're mine. Tell me what you're willing to sacrifice. Ooh. Sacrifice when it comes to me. Don't want no compromise. This should be the only body on your mind. When it comes to me, I'm down for life. So tell me what you sacrifice. Tell me what you sacrifice. Tell me what you sacrifice. Wanna be the air every time you breathe, running through your veins and the spaces in between. I wanna feel your heart every time it bleeds, living in your brain. There's only room for me, so say goodbye to every other girl in the night behind you. Now you're mine. Tell me what you're willing to sacrifice. Ooh. Sacrifice when it comes to me. Don't want no compromise. This should be the only body on your mind. When it comes to me, I'm down for life. So tell me what you sacrifice. Tell me what you sacrifice. Tell me what you sacrifice. Sacrifice your body to the rhythm of mine, the rhythm to the rhythm of mine. Sacrifice your body to the rhythm of mine, the rhythm to the rhythm of mine. Sacrifice your body to the rhythm of mine, the rhythm to the rhythm of mine. Sacrifice your body to the rhythm of mine. So tell me what you sacrifice.
Que dale pom 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 pom, ponle carne a mi sazón, son 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 son. Choca todo eso con mi bom 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 bom. Perdemos el control pa' ganar los dos. Así que dale pom 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 pom, ponle fuego a mi sazón, son 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 son. Choca todo eso con mi bom 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 bom. Espero tu gol, vente dame el gol. Si tú me llamas, nos vamos pa' tu casa. Nos quedamos en la cama, sin pijama, sin pijama.
Si tú me llamas, nos vamos pa' tu casa. Fumamos marihuana sin pijama, sin pijama.
Vuelvo a contarle mis secretos a tu almohada. Mientras tanto hago videollamada. Me
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together to these wonderful and beautiful, amazing models. And let us now welcome our producer and choreographer of the fashion show on stage, Ajana Veerasinghe.
Let's hear it, audience!
Let's give one more round of applause to our beautiful performance, Alex Silva, our choreographer, Ajana Veerasinghe, and all our gorgeous models for their valuable time.
But with that, friends, we move on because now we are going to celebrate some of our Alumni Foundation Award winners. So please do us a favor. When we see your name, stay standing until we announce all of the names. Ready, Sanji?
Yes.
Here it goes. The first one is your 2003 Lifetime Achievement Award winners.
Dr. Nandi Jasantuliana and Dr. Sarat Gunapal.
So good. Your 2004 Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Mr. Sati Chandramohan.
That's right. Your 2004 Exceptional Achievement Award winner.
Dr. Bandula Vijayaratna.
Your 2005 Outstanding Achievement by a Young Professional Award winner.
Ms. Taranga Gunatilaka.
Your 2006 Sri American of the Year Award winner.
Mrs. Selvi Stanislaus.
Your 2007 Exceptional Achievement Award winner.
Harindra J. Fernando.
Your 2008 Sri American of the Year Award winner.
Mr. Sanjeev Gunasekara.
Your 2012 President's Award winner.
Mr. Munir Rakba.
Your 2014 Exceptional Achievement Award winner.
Mr. Asoka Yapa.
Ooh, 2014 is a good year. Your 2014 Outstanding Performance by a Young Professional.
Ms. Namal Munavira Tantula.
Your 2014 Sri American of the Year Award winner.
Mr. Rohan Sauja.
Your 2014 President's Award winner.
Mr. Jayam Ratnam.
Your 2016 President's Award winner.
Mr. Tusita De Silva.
And of course, your 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Mr. Primal T. Lanarol.
Let's give him a massive round of applause. Well done. Thank you for all you have done. Now with that, it is with great sadness that we announce the passing of two of our 2022 award winners. Late Mr. Desmond De Silva and late Mr. Donald Karupna Ratna. Rise, everyone please, for 2 minutes in memory of them.
Also like to thank our previous year's winners who are not present with us today. Dr. Anand Guruge, Dr. Tony John Michael, Ms. Olanta Ambrose, and Dr. Tony Chandraratna.
So, now we've come to one of the most important segments of this afternoon. It is now time for our Lifetime Achievement Awards. This is a big one.
I would now like to call upon the presenters of Lifetime Award, President's Award, and Community Service Awards to come up to the stage. Thank you. Dr. Dishan Jayasinghe, Mr. Mohan Chandramohan, Mr. Jayam Ratnam, Dr. Siva Sivalingam, Dr. Sarat Gunapala, Dr. Nandi Jasantuliana, and Dr. Walter Jayasinghe. For his excellence as a renowned international researcher and an accomplished academic administrator. Professor Rajapaksa is awarded Lifetime Achievement for his contribution as an internationally renowned researcher in applied mechanics and for his extensive work in civil engineering. Professor Rajapaksa is a recipient of several prestigious awards, including the Horst Lefors Medal of the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, RH Award for Applied Sciences, and Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship. He is ranked amongst the top 1% of worldwide researchers based on the Scopus database, according to a study by scholars from Stanford University. Professor Nimal served 4 major Canadian research universities and held academic administrative positions for 2 decades. He has received over 15 million Canadian dollars in research grants as a principal investigator. Professor Nimal has mentored 23 PhD students and 16 Master of Science students and 20 postdoctoral fellows, and he has co-authored a textbook published by Springer, which has been downloaded over 1.5 million times. Professor Rajapaksa was recruited to Carleton University in 2015 as Vice President, Research and International, and he made several initiatives to strengthen the research profile and impact. He retired from his academic career in Canada and returned to Sri Lanka in 2019 to serve as the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic of the Sri Lanka Institute of Technology. I would now like to invite Dr. Dishant Jayasinghe to present the award to Professor Rajapaksa.
First, let me thank Dr. Walter Jayasinghe. I think what you have done is exceptional. As you heard that the past 3 years I spent in Sri Lanka, and that was the toughest time in my life. Initially, the COVID pandemic, and later, of course, the political issues and the economic problems and so on. And you hear actually a lot of negative news about the country. And events like this actually raise the spirit of all Sri Lankans around the world. And I think that is something that we should be very proud, because if you look across this hall, you will see that people who have achieved at many different levels. So as a nation, I think we are blessed with many competent and capable people. So what is wrong with the country? I don't want to talk about politics, but I leave you to decide how to fix the problems. But we are here to celebrate today. But please allow me to thank few people. I had to thank my school, Ananda College, where I got my education. And the teachers who actually guided and molded me, most of them are gone today. And then I went to University of Sri Lanka, Katubad at that time, All University of Moratuwa today. And there I had great teachers, and I was a recipient of the free education. Now that is something that you must think also. Which country actually give you free education all the way to the university level? Right? And we are one of the very few countries in the world to do that. Right? And these are the good things and things that we should be proud as Sri Lankans. And so at Moratuwa, I had great teachers. I was able to learn well. Then I did my my postgraduate studies at Asian Institute of Technology. Tissa here is another AIT graduate. And that's where actually all my corners were cut. And I was really polished to become a researcher. And that was under my PhD supervisor. And I had a great time there, a lot of good facilities. And from there I came to Canada as a postdoc. And that was in 1983. And I spent almost 36 years in Canada working for universities and climbing the ladder through the administrative positions and eventually becoming the Vice President of Research and International at Carleton University. And in 2019, I decided to retire and go back to Sri Lanka. Right? So I want to thank all my colleagues in Canada who gave me this opportunity to actually become an administrator. And without their support, I couldn't have done that. And then also, I want to thank my family members are here, my wife, my 2 sons, and my daughter-in-law. Actually, she asked me just now, the lifetime award, does that mean that you are now time to retire? So anyway, thank you very much, and I really appreciate. And once again, Dr. Jayasinghe and the members of the foundation, I congratulate you and I thank you for all the wonderful work you have done. Thank you very much.
So next, we have Professor, you all know who it is, Ajit Yoganathan, for his excellence in cardiac surgery and biomedical engineering. So, our professor, Associate Chair for Research in the Wallace H. Coulter School of Biomedical Engineering and the Wallace H. Coulter Distinguished Faculty Chair in Biomedical Engineering at Georgia Tech School of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering. Professor Yoganathan is awarded the Lifetime Achievement for his dedication over the subsequent 40-plus years. He has pioneered the field of transitional cardiovascular engineering. Through his collaboration with clinicians and basic scientists, he has demonstrated the value of applying basic engineering science to develop and evaluate novel cardiac technologies and devices that have been benefited millions and millions of patients around the world. Yeah, no, let's get into this. Professor Yoganathan's career has been distinguished by a number of high honors. In 2020, he was induced as the inaugural honorary fellow of the American Association of Thoracic Surgery, the AATS, the leading cardiac surgery society in the world. And then in 2022, he received the Heart Valve Society inaugural HVS Lifetime Achievement Award. I now invite Mr. Mohan Chandra Mohan to present this amazing award to Professor Yoganathan.
Thank you, Sri Lanka Foundation, for this recognition. Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and his foundation have made a tremendous impact on Sri Lankans, expatriates around the world for many years. A Lifetime Achievement Award is not something that is for a single individual, a man or a woman. It is the culmination of many people who have worked with me over the last 40 plus years. Over 100 graduate students, 40 plus postdoctoral fellows, and also many clinical collaborators, cardiologists and cardiac surgeons around the world. They have clearly helped impact the work that I've done and had an important contribution to the world. Also, a Lifetime Achievement Award cannot be received without the ongoing support of family and friends over the years, because the number of hours one spends making one's career successful means that you need the support and love of your family. And today, in the audience is my wife Tripti, daughter Anila, son Anant Adi. Also, I'm fortunate to have my sister Renuka from San Diego. Also, coming from Atlanta with me, a friend from over 30 years, Jehan and Nimi Wanagatunga. So family and friends are essential to one's success in the world. So let me just give you a brief sketch of how I ended up here. 49 years ago, September of 1973, I landed in Los Angeles and went and stayed overnight in a hotel somewhere downtown. I have no idea. The only thing I remember is I turned on the TV due to jet lag, and I saw there were 50 channels of TV, which was mind-boggling. I was on my way next morning to Caltech, as I'm proud to say, the first Sri Lankan to go there to do graduate work. But I came to Caltech not to work in biomedical engineering or in areas related to blood flow. I actually came to study air pollution. So you might ask, how in the world did you end up where you are? And I used the famous story from Winnie the Pooh, who says, sometimes we keep looking for something and we never find it. So maybe you look for something else and you'll find what you're looking for. And that's what happened. There was a Professor Bill Corcoran at Caltech who got up one day talking about his research, and he talked to me about listening to the sounds that the doctor hears, what we call the crock cough sound, to gauge your blood pressure. That's a fluid mechanics problem, and as a chemical engineer from London, I understood that. But more so, I was fascinated by the fact that engineering could play a role in medicine. Both my parents were doctors. My mother was professor of pathology, and I know there are many Sri Lankan doctors here in the audience. I'm sure many of you were in a class in Colombo Medical School. So that propelled me into the field of cardiovascular engineering, launched my career. That then I went in 1979 after finishing my PhD and postdoctoral fellows at Caltech to Georgia Tech, and was able to contribute to the field of valvular heart disease, and probably to me, even more importantly, in my last 25 years working on problems affecting children born with congenital heart disease and how best to treat them surgically. I've also had the opportunity of working in public policy on efforts, working with the Food and Drug Administration in the United States and such agencies worldwide in getting medical devices to patients. I would like to also say that there are many Sri Lankan engineers, doctors, scientists in this room who are worthy of such an award. Unfortunately, we Sri Lankans do not wave our flag high enough. If you look at the National Academy of Engineering, there are only 3 Sri Lankans of Sri Lankan origin in that National Academy. That's a sad reflection on that we don't promote ourselves. As Dr. Walter Jayasinghe said, we tend to pull down our colleagues instead of pushing our colleagues up. This is something that I feel very strongly about. And as the previous winner also said, our country is in a mess. It's in total chaos, but let's not worry. So I would like to, from the philosophical point of view of an American president who I'm a big fan of, said 61 years ago, President Kennedy said, Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And I urge every Sri Lankan to take that to heart, because if we don't, the politicians aren't going to do it. It's up to us sitting around this table and worldwide to do that. And again, thank you very much.
Next, we have Professor Askarali Fazlabaz for his excellence in the research of obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive biology. From the University Distinguished Professor, he is a Foundation Professor, Associate Chair for Research in Obstetrics, Gynecology and Reproductive Biology, Director, Center for Women's Health, and Co-Director, Reproductive and Developmental Sciences Program at the Michigan State University. Professor Askarali Fazlabaz is awarded the Lifetime Achievement for specializing in obstetrics, gynecology, and reproductive biology, and has achieved national prominence and influence in women's health research. His accomplishments and significance of the work in moving the field forward has been recognized at several levels. He has received many awards, including the National Institute of Health Beacon Award 2005, Distinguished Research Award from the Society for the Study of Reproduction in 2010, election as a Fellow of the American Society for the Advancement of Science in 2011, World Class University Professor 2013 from Seoul National University, Korea, the Distinguished Service Award in 2016, and the Carl G. Hartman Award 2021 from Society for the Study of Reproduction. In 2017 and 2018, he was recognized as a University Distinguished Professor and MSU Foundation Professor, respectively, at Michigan State University. In addition, his alma mater, the University of Illinois College of Agricultural, Consumer and Environmental Sciences, recognized him with the Career Achievement Award in 2020. Dr. Fazlabaz is the University Distinguished Professor, MSU Foundation Professor, Associate Chair for Research for the Department of Obstetrics, Gynecology and Reproductive Biology, Director for Women's Health, Co-Director for Reproductive and Development Sciences Program at the Michigan State University. I now call upon Mr. Jayam Ratnam to present this award to Professor Fazlabaz.
I won. Wait, I didn't think I've done all that. It's very humbling. I first want to thank Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and the Foundation for this recognition of me and also my fellow recipients. And as Professor Yoganandan said, Sri Lankans who've come to this country have done amazing things. And we stand here in front of you, but there are many others that have done amazing things. I also want to thank Professor Primal Lanarol, who unfortunately had to leave because he was not feeling well. My dear friend and colleague for almost 25 years at the University of Illinois for nominating me. And I greatly appreciate that nomination and the recognition from the Sri Lankan Foundation. So as I reflect upon this award and the recognition, one comes to the realization as to how many of us in this room are so fortunate to have come to this country and had every opportunity to succeed. And most of us have taken advantage of that. But I also believe that our good fortune, as Professor Yoganandan said, and talents should be utilized in every possible way to help our island nation individually and collectively. Fortunately for me, my academic institution, Michigan State University, has wonderful, strong ties with Sri Lanka, and we've been able to accomplish significant amounts, particularly in the field of agriculture and plant biosynthesis and plant physiology. We have a $250,000 grant from the Asian Development Bank to predominantly help our farmers in Sri Lanka improve their crops. Hopefully they'll get some fertilizer in the next few. When I think about it, Sri Lanka has suffered a great deal. A brutal civil war for 30 years, a devastating tsunami, an attack on his innocent worshippers on Easter Sunday, and recently an unprecedented, catastrophic economic collapse brought about by corrupt and incompetent politicians that has been the bane of our existence throughout from the time we got our independence. We don't want to talk about politics, but it's really unfortunate that the people that vote for them never get what they truly deserve. But what we saw recently with the youth of Sri Lanka and the protests and their ability to change things was very heartwarming. Nobody asked whether you were a Sinhalese, a Tamil, a Muslim, a Christian. We were all one people. And to see that brought back wonderful memories for me growing up in Sri Lanka. As a schoolboy at St. Joseph's and St. Thomas's, nobody asked us what our ethnicity was. We worked together, we played together, and 50 years later, we're still friends, no matter where in the world we are. And that says a lot, because I think that's what's going to really help Sri Lanka. And if what the youth did a few months ago can continue, that's going to make the largest difference to our country. I truly believe that our beautiful island nation will rise up once again like a phoenix. We have always done that. Immaterial for all the tragedies we've suffered. And that we are a strong people. We represent the lion, and that's how we're as strong as we're going to be, and we are going to resurrect ourselves like the lion. That is our national symbol. And my dearest hope is that when we all leave here, after we enjoy these celebrations, that we devote ourselves to helping our motherland in any possible way, and once again help it to become the pearl of the Indian Ocean. We met yesterday, as Dishan told you, some of us, in terms of trying to think about strategies, and we all know there are difficulties. It's difficult to work in Sri Lanka, sometimes difficult to get things done. But I think as a group, those that are so fortunate, we really should. And I hope that all of us will leave here with that promise that we're going to help our motherland. So thank you once again for this honor. It's one I cherish above all others because it's given to me as a proud Sri Lankan. And I'd like to thank Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and the foundation for recognizing me and my fellow laureates. And last but not least, I have to recognize my family. My beautiful wife, Sharbanu, sitting there. Our two children who aren't here, unfortunately, because we decided to take a vacation in Madagascar before we came here. So they couldn't come with us. But without their support, without their help, without their sacrifices when we work 16 hours, not come home, when I'm writing a grant, I don't want to be talked to, don't bother me. They put up with all of that. And finally, in addition to my family, are the people that came through my lab. Professor Yoganathan mentioned that. These are the people that, we can get all the recognition, but they're the people that do the hard work And I really want to thank those who have trained with me over the years. And I'm really happy to see their success, because their success is what's reflected in what we do. And as academics, that's the best we can do. So thank you once again, and I really appreciate this honor.
Next, we have Professor Tissa H. Langasekara for his excellence as an internationally recognized researcher, academic, and an engineer. Distinguished Chair and Professor Civil and Environmental Engineering, Colorado School of Mines, Golden, Colorado. Professor Langasekara is awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for his significant scientific contributions in the field of water and environment engineering with societal impacts. His research for over 40 years has contributed to addressing many critical problems involving the protection and sustainability of water, assessment and mitigation of climate change impacts due to global warming, alternative energy development, and also some of the areas that he has made an active collaboration in many countries in North America, Europe, and Asia. He has received numerous national and international awards from professional societies and international organizations. He has served and currently serves as the editor of the premier journals in hydrology and earth sciences and other leadership roles in professional societies. Professor Langasekara's current active projects are subsurface storage of greenhouse gas, that's carbon dioxide, in deep geologic formations to mitigate global warming, dynamic coupling of soil structure and gas fluxes measured with distributed sensor systems, implications for carbon modeling and evaluation of emerging contaminants in the subsurface, land atmospheric interaction as applied to global warming, and hydrology and human health. I now invite Dr. Sarath Kunapala to present the award to Dr. Langasekara.
Thank you very much. And as university professors, we don't give short talks. So normally we are, and also actually we need PowerPoint slides, so we cannot use that. And also we got a little scared of giving long talks after Zoom and when we are talking from home, teaching from home. So that's why I had to sort of look at my notes to give this talk. I like to Sri Lankan guests and family and friends. First, I'd like to thank the Professor Walter Jayasinghe and the Sri Lankan Foundation for his vision and all the service you are doing to the Sri Lankan community here as well as our mother country Sri Lanka. And so it is a truly honor to be among the other distinguished past recipients and who we already met here and who are not here. Especially I was very proud to be among the rising stars, and these are the people I think are going to be, normally they always say that we can inspire them, but they can inspire us. I think we can do better, even we are recognized for lifetime awards. So coming from a very small place in Sri Lanka in Kandy, and to get here, I had to thank many. And I don't think I'll ever have an argument with the audience here how much our spouses, our wives play and our families play in who we are today. Especially I like to thank my wife Mali, and herself a scientist, but she prioritized my career to raise kids and doing the thing behind, and so I really appreciate what she did, and also my two daughters, Samantha and Tushani, who made a lot of sacrifices to very unfledged sacrifices allow me to pursue my passion for teaching, research, and service. And our son-in-laws, Gideon Trevor, and our grandkids, Sydney, Naveen, Kushal, for making our lives fuller and still allowing me to continue to work without asking when I'm going to retire. So that's really good. I'd like to thank my high school classmate and friend, longtime friend, Professor Malik Piris, who is a friend and a collaborator. No, he's a friend actually. Then I would like to thank Professor Harendra Fernando. He's a friend and a collaborator, and he especially came for this function. I really appreciate it. And then I try to thank them for bringing my name to their attention. Actually, those of us who are receiving these types of recognition should be humbled by the fact that we are not any special. So it was a lot of luck, timing, and being at the correct place at the correct time. In my case, I was lucky to have parents who instilled the value of education, hard work, and persistence in me and my brothers, and I have one of my brothers sitting here, give me the necessary foundation to be who I am today, and who all of us are here today, I believe. Actually, I benefited from my family here in Sri Lanka and many teachers and mentors from Sri Lanka. We always remember our teachers, science teachers, math teachers, because we are in science. But I think we should not forget our history teachers, our language teachers, and they gave us a foundation, a lot of foundation we wouldn't have got otherwise. So we had excellent education that way, in a very broad, in the way we were taught. And also the universities, as you know, if you come from universities back home, we seem to do quite well here because we have a really good foundation coming from there. Actually, those who are receiving this type of recognitions should be humbled by the fact that we are not any special. It was luck. I mentioned this earlier. So the lucky ones like us have to have a moral obligation to share our fortune by helping others. So that's my theme of my acceptance. First, we owe to humanity and future generation to leave the planet in a better shape than what we inherited. Most of my work has been, as I introduced, in protecting water, and which is very critical resource for our survival, and mitigating the climate change. 1 of 10 of the world's population lacks access to safe water. Climate change is going to impact the poor disproportionately, including Sri Lanka. Actually, if you look at the water issue and the climate change issue, and it's going to be mostly affecting the poor. So I think so we have some responsibilities there. And I was very fortunate with all the work I had done around the world to work in Sri Lanka after 2004 tsunami. I did some work on the coastal aquifer salinity contamination, and Harendra also was with us when we traveled to Sri Lanka. And more recently, I did work on the chronic kidney disease, which has to do with groundwater, even though everyone doesn't know this very well. The second responsibility is to be honest as scientists, honest in communicating our knowledge and science to the public, politicians, and policymakers. So we actually, I tell my students this all the time, more and more we learned, we should feel humble about how little we know. So we have the tendency, once you get these awards, recognition, we think that we know everything. So I think this type of responsibility, especially science, if you communicate the science, and we are not honest with the science, then it may affect a lot of people. I can give examples happening around the world in climate change and in Sri Lanka itself. Some decisions were made based on wrong science, in my view. And the third responsibility is to set examples of being role models and mentors, especially to the young. There are many avenues available, and of course Sri Lankan Foundation is doing all this stuff, and there are others like Educate Lanka, and there's a new Sri Lankan academic network. Some of us started recently to try to develop these connections in Sri Lanka and try to help the Sri Lankan academic universities, etc. And the fourth, importantly, is I think remember where we came from. we should be grateful to the people of Sri Lanka for the free education. This was mentioned earlier. And when we talk about this, actually, we sort of forget the reason we can have free education and free healthcare is that there are a lot of hardworking people in Sri Lanka. I come from the upcountry tree plantation area. There are people, they are the people who are gaining the foreign exchange to get our free education. And now, more recently, there are a lot of people going to the Middle East and work in these countries under very challenging conditions, which allows us to do all these things. So we need to give something back in return to the people of Sri Lanka. And we owe it to them. So I share this honor with outstanding students and collaborate from around 30 countries in the world. I'm fortunate to work with and learn from them. So I always learn from my collaboration from my students. I'm humbled by this fact that many other Sri Lankans among us who have significantly contributed and impacted society through their work and service equally deserve this type of recognition. This is excitement, profound appreciation, and humility that I accept this award. I thank the foundation and your leadership, Dr. Jayasinghe's leadership, and all of you, and your presence. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Dr. Yasantha Rajakarunanayake for his excellence in technology and electrical engineering. Vice President of Research and Development and ALT Technology, Analog Inference, Bay Area, San Francisco. Dr. Yasantha Rajakarunanayake is awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for his proven track record of innovation and research and development contributions with experience in building and leading world-class teams to create innovative products and software solutions for the high-tech industry and recently leveraging artificial intelligence. He's also an expert mathematician with key knowledge, skills, and insights for high-tech with a very strong background in software and algorithm delivery. He's an expert in many key technical areas including Wi-Fi, digital satellite communication, videos, DSL, etc., and have meaningfully contributed to fundamental technology as well as key product design and software through Silicon Valley companies, mainly during his tenure at MediaTek and Broadcom. He has experience in all parts of the internet, mobility, connectivity, and cloud ecosystems, from design of low-level hardware, functional blocks to streamlining software driver architectures, server systems, and adaptive inferential systems for cloud and high-tech edge devices. Dr. Rajakarunanayake was a lead scientist, a technical director at Broadcom for the wireless BU and broadband BU. He has experience in starting, building, managing, and leading world-class teams to create novel products and software solutions and product lines that have, in many cases, reached over 200 million in revenues for these companies. In 2015, he served as the key technical director for novel product innovation for Broadcom Wireless BU with revenue around $3 billion. Most recently, since 2015, he has acquired key expertise in artificial intelligence and algorithms, software and applications, and has a keen interest in applying these systems wide. I now invite Dr. Nandi Jasanthulena to present this award to Dr. Yasantha Rajakarunanayake.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate this award, and thank you, the Sri Lanka Foundation, Dr. Jayasinghe, and the organizers for giving this award to me. Dr. Nandi, well, you know who invented the internet, right? It's Al Gore, not me. Okay, right? So let's get that straight. Yeah. So I think Dr. Jayasinghe today spoke about how sometimes Sri Lankans try to pull others down, right? Actually, it's a little bit unfair. I think I want to talk in defense of Sri Lankans. Actually, that's because when you have your own people, your standards are higher, okay? So that's why you call peer review. Basically, it is the hardest award to get is a award from your peers, okay? Because they see all of your faults as well as your strengths, right? So today I'm honored and humbled because all of you are my peers, you know, Sri Lankans, right? And you have recognized me as well as all the others, okay? So it's not, and also there is a saying that I think it goes like a prophet is not recognized in his own land, okay? I think this applied to the Buddha, right? No matter how clever he was, even now India doesn't recognize him as much as Sri Lanka does. So, or even Jesus Christ, right? So remember, your own people, getting an award from your own people is the best. Probably that, right? Yeah. So initially I thought the charter of this award is to inspire the young youth in Sri Lanka, right? So I'm fully ready for this charter. But actually, hearing this morning's talks, I was inspired by these young people rather than me inspiring them. Yeah. They were pretty awesome. Okay, so right. So all three of them this morning talked about perseverance as a criteria for success. And that is completely true. I'd like to add that that's not enough. One of the things that you really need is curiosity, okay? The world that we live in is a complex thing, okay? And we get to go one pass through it at 50, 60 years, right? So as a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, I think I'm qualified to say a few words about how I view success, all right? So I think curiosity is super important because with that, if you're curious and hardworking, then you succeed, all right? And I think Bandula is right here. He talks a lot about he talks about this. In life, there are different types of people, and especially in the sciences, right? So when you're curious about something, you have to ask questions. One of the types of questions you can ask is, how does something work? All right. Another type of question is, why does it happen? Okay, like why does the apple fall down to the ground? That's what Newton asked, right? And then some people are very interested in who's doing what. Okay, they're the great networking people. All right, so they become good marketers, okay, or CEOs because they know who their competition is and all of that, right? So if you're a why person, right, and I acknowledge Bandula because it's his original theme that I'm expanding upon in my own way, right? So the people who ask why, if that's the most interesting thing, then by all means become a scientist. That's what you're good at, okay? For instance, I'm a why guy, okay? Who is not that interesting to me, right? And if you're a good engineer or a good doctor, you want to know how does it work, okay? You basically want to know how does the heart work, how does the car work, how does the starter motor work, right? So be curious about that by asking how, right? And so those are the things. And then, above all, the hardest question to answer is what? What to do? Okay? That's what we're all worrying about, Sri Lanka. What can we do, right? So the great visionaries of our world are what people? Basically, guys like Steve Jobs, for instance. He doesn't listen to anybody else. He knows what to do. He basically invents an iPhone because he has a vision and he executes on that. So to the young people, both here as well as in Sri Lanka, my message is that be curious, ask these questions, how, why, what, who, those kind of things, and then pick your strength and dig it down, all the way down, all right? And thereby you can become more successful that way. So I also want to thank my family. I can't really see them. These lights are coming in, blinding me, but I'd like to thank Indu and my daughter Himali and Hasit for making, for the support. And also, I think I wanted to say a little bit about Sri Lanka. I don't know whether I'm qualified, but I'm going to try. So one of the things that Sri Lanka is an $84 billion economy, okay? So it's $84 billion. That means its GDP is $84 billion. But we are still very old-fashioned. How many billion dollars do you think tea industry gives you? Turns out it's about only $2 billion. That's 2 out of 84, which is about 2 to 3%, right? Whereas the IT industry, right before COVID, was making $1.4 billion. So with $1.4 billion, and the tea industry hires something like 800,000 people. The IT industry only hires 40,000 people, right? So if you can just triple the IT thing, okay, get to 5 billion, and give jobs to at least 150,000, because Sri Lanka has 20 million people, right? So if you can give, if you can make 1%, okay, 200,000 people, that'll put us with another $5-6 billion of foreign exchange. So I think we need to look at new solutions, not think about tea and those kind of things, okay? And because that's a tremendous waste of time, because you need to compete in the new world, in the 21st century, in the new economy. So, and the other thought I want to leave you with is that we need to foster intellectual property in Sri Lanka, okay? That is, because the world is becoming a little bit of like a village. So in the sense that people have patents for, double clicking, right? That's a patent. So a Sri Lankan can think about these kind of things, get the right kind of patent protection in the US, and then you can basically build a world of ideas, okay? So that's basically the main points I want to leave you with. And again, thank you so much, okay?
Our next awardee, Venerable Hene Pula Gunaratna Mahathera, for his excellence in the international missionary work, author and renowned meditation teacher. Venerable Hene Pula Gunaratna is the founding abbot of Bhavana Society Forest Monastery in West Virginia. Venerable Hene Pula Gunaratna is awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for his lifelong commitment to Dharma and his international missionary work in the areas of meditation practices, and also for his many publications on Buddhist philosophies. In 1985, Venerable Hene Pula co-founded the Bhavana Society and became its abbot. He wanted to teach meditation in an environment allowing for longer retreats and intense practice free the trappings of a city vihara. He continues to teach in the direct, compassionate style that characterizes his books and articles. Venerable Gunaratna conveys a well-rounded approach to Buddhist Dhamma, touching on all aspects of the Noble Eightfold Path. He emphasizes that Metta Bhavana, the cultivation of loving friendliness, as a basis for Samma Samadhi, or right concentration. As a teacher, he is known for his emphasis both on Samadhi and on Metta as a part of spiritual training. In 1996, Venerable Gunaratna received the title of Chief Sanganayaka for North America. This acknowledged his status as the highest-ranking monk of his sector in the United States and Canada. Originally published in 2003, his autobiography, Journey to Mindfulness, was updated in 2017 with an expanded anniversary edition, adding 5 new chapters in 2005. The Sri Henapala Gunaratna Scholarship Trust was founded under his guidance. This trust fund provides educational opportunities for poverty-stricken children in the rural areas of Sri Lanka. Bhante Henapala Gunaratna couldn't be with us here today due to health reasons. Let us give a big round of applause and thank him for his achievement.
But now, our final Lifetime Achievement Award winner, which I can't pronounce, Professor Patrick Mindis. Right? I nailed it. For his excellence as an eminent scholar, diplomat, professor, and author. Distinguished Visiting Professor of the Transatlantic Relations, University of Warsaw, Poland. Distinguished Visiting Professor of Global Affairs, National Chengyi University of Taiwan. Non-resident Senior Fellow, Synergia Foundation, India. Non-resident Senior Fellow, Taiwan Center for Security, Taipei. Wow. Professor Patrick Mindis is awarded this Lifetime Achievement Award for his lifetime dedication to public service, as an award-winning diplomat, as well as an educator, an author, and philanthropist, and as an executive in our government for the United States of America. Impressive. Since 2012, Professor Mindis, you've served 2 terms as an American commissioner to the U.S. National Commissioner for UNESCO at the Department of State under the Trump White House. Then, for his leadership and public service, Professor Patrick Mindis received numerous awards and honors, including the Benjamin Franklin Award, the Meritus Honor Award, and the USDA Outstanding Leadership Award. More recently, Professor Mindis has traveled extensively and worked as a distinguished visiting professor of global affairs at the National Chengyi University of Taiwan, as well as a distinguished visiting professor of transatlantic relations at the University of Warsaw in Poland. Professor Mindis was named among the 13 world-famous people in Sri Lanka. 13. He was listed in the Who's Who of Asian Americans, Who's Who in America, and Who's Who in the world. Professor Mindis is a senior non-resident fellow of the Synergia Foundation in India and a fellow World Academy of Arts and Science. He lives in Washington, D.C. I invite Professor Sivya Lingam to award Professor Mindis this award. Congratulations.
The dance. I heard the crowd at the floor. It's awfully different without.
Thank you very much, dear friends and Sri Lankans and others. I just wanted to thank Dr. Neville Fernando, who nominated me for this award. And also I wanted to thank Sri Lankan Foundation and to his staff. Wonderful leadership over there. I'm very grateful to you for your work that you're doing for Sri Lanka diaspora, Sri Lankan in the US and around the world. And also more especially to Sri Lankan visionary, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe. Walter, thank you. By the way, we are all friends. I'm actually catching up to him. Today, my family cannot come here. My wife is in Virginia, son is a professor at Penn State, daughter in Washington State in Seattle. Because all throughout my life and left my family traveling around the world and teaching and doing other things for the US government. And above all, I just wanted to share with you how I got here. I was born in Sri Lanka, city called Polonnaruwa, the medieval capital of Sri Lanka. I grew up with 13 water buffaloes in 3 acres of rice land. My friends are Buddhist monks and Jesuit Catholic priest, because my grandfather built the church when they came to Polonnaruwa from Jayala through the colonization process after the British left. So I grew up with these water buffaloes, and I had 28 chickens, 13 pigs, and I learned to run because I was the fastest runner also in Sri Lanka at that one time, and was the best commander of the Army Cadet Corps and also police cadet sergeant. By given all these things, I end up in very hot place in Polonnaruwa to northern Minnesota as an exchange student, the coldest place in America. Literally, it was cold. More importantly, I did not speak English. I still couldn't speak very well. While I was in Minnesota, best thing I knew is how to milk cows. They had the machines. I used to have milking cows by hand. Now I have to do it 28 milking cows in Perm, Minnesota, very close to the Canadian border, by putting machines on it. In 500 acres of corn, potatoes, and soybean. That is how American Field Service in New York fit the American family from my background in rural Sri Lanka to a rural community in northern Minnesota. So I learned to speak English, and I learned to ski in the cold weather. I was not good. And most fascinating part was ice fishing on the middle of the lake. We go to the middle of the lake in the snowmobiles, and we drill the hole, we put the line, and my friend spear it. We catch walleyes and in northern Minnesota. And some of my friends eat tobaccos, but I ate beef jerky and yellow mellow. So from there, I was able to get the education. First AFS, then I went to the University of Minnesota Humphrey School and to the Kennedy School at Harvard. Through all scholarships, because I didn't have money to go anywhere from Polonnaruwa. I had $150 by selling all the pigs I had, 13 of them. I sold to my grandfather who raised me, and when I returned, I saved all the money. I gave $200 back to him. I took all my 13 pigs back before I went to the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. I was at that time very rich. So then returning to Minnesota, during the middle of the war, the community raised money and asked me to come back in northern Minnesota. And while at the University of Minnesota, then I was able to work in the Minnesota legislature, U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee during the Reagan years. Then you can see how old I am. And then President Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama, and then 2 terms I overlapped with our previous president. So having said that one, giving a pre-education is the greatest gift I had. So what I did was I returned it by establishing a scholarship for tsunami victims. And I became the first founding chairman of Educate Lanka Foundation that Tissa was talking about earlier. And I established the Sarvodaya Peace Prize. And 1994, I established another scholarship. They put my name on it, Dr. Patrick Mendes Prize, that given to each year at the Sri Jayawardhanapura, along with the Venerable Dr. Walpola Rahula. So everybody thought, just like Venerable Walpola Rahula, I was a dead man also. So what I did was I established other scholarships to my high school in northern Minnesota, Perm High School. And another one at the University of Minnesota in honor of my American father, Honorable Edward Burdick, the longest served public servant in the nation. Then another one, Millennial Award for Leadership at Harvard University. So this is the way I look at the education. Education was the destiny. And it is the force for equalizer. I couldn't be here working with water buffaloes and the great leaders that you have seen before me over here without that education. Education can shape a person. Education is just like a water. It flows. It can break down and shape the hardest rock, and it flows to the rivers, and we all end up in the last ocean. Just like a Mahaveli river going through in the mountains and end up in a Trincomalee into the large ocean. We become equalizers. What I think is, without education, we cannot be here. That is why, as I got a scholarship, I wanted to give it back. I created the scholarships. This is the only way I can do that. You don't have to have a lot of money to give scholarships. But a small drop of water can change the world. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be with you.
Thank you, Professor Mendes. You know what? Let's share this moment together. Why don't you announce the Lifetime Award winners, who we should say?
Mr. Donald Karunaratne, and we like to call for Gayoshi Rodrigo to receive the award for Donald Karunaratne.
Beautiful. Come on down. Thank you so much. Come on down.
Iborn, it is with great pride and joy and sort of sadness that I accept this award on behalf of my father, Donald Karunaratne. Thank you, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe, for recognizing his talents and recognizing the arts. Tati was one of the best or the best cinematographer in Sri Lanka, and I wouldn't be boasting if I said that. I will be not reading out any of his accolades or his awards. I think Google can do that for you. But instead, I want to talk and remember a man who I saw at home. Even before he won his first award for his very first film, Ahasgawa, in 1969, he was an extraordinary man who didn't want to be an ordinary man. He wanted to achieve something that was way beyond anybody's vision at the time. He was not going to be satisfied with just holding a camera. And that was what he strived to do all of his life. Many of you know him for the wonderful images and the visuals you saw in Gangadhara, Sagara Jalaya, and all of the other multitude of movies that has his name as a cinematographer. But I knew him as Tati. And a lot of you may not know what a cinematographer does. He's actually not the camera operator, but he's the man that tells the camera operator at which length, at which distance, at which speed to control the camera. He's also the man that orchestrates the whole set. He has to see how the art direction is, how the makeup is, how every little detail in the set works, because he is the one that sees it. And then you get to see that because he's trying to form the visual that the director has in mind. So he would be as meticulous as seeing a little bit of lipstick off of an actress, or the table is not at the right angle. And that's what that I saw as a man and as a director. And that's why he was called a cinematographer or a director of photography. Many of you know him with his boyish smile, his laugh, and all of the things that he is well known for, the jokes, the sarcastic jokes he always makes on my mom, who's always the victim of it and didn't really like his jokes. But he was a man that was also very kind. He was always the man that wanted to see that the crew was fed, that the actresses were standing in the shade and there was an umbrella to protect them, and the last man to always eat. He was such a perfectionist that he was the first one on the set and the last one to go to bed. And when he did get off the set, he's reading about the next day's shooting. I had the privilege of working with my father when I was 17 years old. And what I saw on the set was not what I saw at home, because at home he would come to chill out, but he would still read late into the night. He would give us time whenever he had time. And like my mother would like to say, she was a single parent. But all of that to say that my father always wanted the very, very best. Not for him, but for the directors and the people that were working on the set with him. You remember him running up. I think my favorite memories of my father was when he used to run up, just casual pair of trousers with a white shirt rolled up. That's how he would get an award. And not because he didn't like his award or didn't appreciate what he was being gifted at, but because he was always coming back from a set or going to a set. And he didn't really care about how he looked. Those are the things that a lot of you may not know about my father, which I like to tell you and bring you. And right up to the very last moment of his time in August this year, he fought. He fought for his life because he knew that fighting was always the way to go. He was not going to give in to cancer. But like everyone has their time, and he had to go way too early. He was only 77 years old. If he was here, I think he would crack a few jokes, some sarcastic joke about my mom. But I think that if he was here, the first one he would thank would be my mother, because if not for her, I don't think he would have achieved what he achieved in his life. Then he would thank the first person who ever gave him a hand or made him what he is Mike Wilson. He was a cinematographer at Sri Lanka at that time, who was working with Arthur C. Clarke, who saw his talent and asked him to pursue it. And all of the other prolific directors that he worked for throughout his career. I'm going to leave you all, and I hope that when you watch a Sinhala movie and you see my father's name, you would think a little bit about the background of what went behind making all of those beautiful images. Again, thank you very much for recognizing him, and I'm sure he's smiling from above.
Next, I would like to request Jaila Pereira to come up to the stage to accept the Lifetime Award on behalf of late Desmond De Silva. I invite Shirani Stanislaus to come up to present the award to Jaila Pereira.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jay Pereira, a close friend of late Desmond De Silva. Mr. Desmond De Silva's spouse, Phyllis, is not able to attend today's award ceremony. So Phyllis asked me to represent her to accept this award on behalf of the family. I'd like to convey my gratitude to Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and the Sri Lankan Foundation for honoring Desmond with this Lifetime Achievement Award. It would be extremely difficult to include everything that Desmond had accomplished in his lifetime in a short speech. Desmond started his musical career when he was 19 in 1963. Before long, he became the lead vocalist with several popular bands such as Fireflies and Jetliners. Then in 1976, he formed his own band, Desmond and the Clan. Later, Desmond performed as a solo artist, and then with his band based in Sydney, Desmond and the Impressions. Desmond is a legend who made a massive impact on Sri Lankan music for 5 decades. His contribution to music as a singer, songwriter, and as an entertainer is legendary. Desmond's songs have touched millions of fans through several generations. Desmond is well known as the King of Baila. In addition to entertaining with popular Baila songs, Desmond entertained with a wide range of audience with country, jazz, and rock and roll in many countries. We remember Desmond not only for his exceptional musical and entertainment talents. Desmond was a humble, kind-hearted, and a caring friend. Desmond De Silva was a sensational singer and one of the greatest entertainers ever to live. His passing has left a huge void, but his music will live on our memories for a lifetime. Thank you again for honoring Desmond in this special way.
So now we come to a new category that we have this year. It's the Outstanding Community Service Award. Professor Deepthi Jayasinghe, for his excellence, yes, please, round of applause, for his excellence in infectious disease specialist in COVID guidelines, vaccines, therapeutics, and community service. Professor Jayasinghe, MD, FACP, MIDSA, Clinical Professor of Infectious Disease at Western University. Oh, I'm not done. Chair of Internal Medicine at Eminent Health, Medical Director of Sri Lanka Foundation International. I'm gonna flip a page, it's so good. Here we go. Wow. Dr. Jayasinghe is awarded the Outstanding Community Service for his dedication for service leadership. Committees has been championing hospitals protocols such as sepsis, pneumonia, COVID-19 vaccines, and treatment protocols for over 20 years. He has chosen to deliver his first ever educational webinar to his hospital staff on COVID-19 back in November 2020, before the mRNA vaccines were rolled out. In addition, he has positively impacted the Sri Lankan community through outreach by educating the people through ongoing webinars and effective programs. Dr. Jayasinghe works as a consultant physician and infectious disease specialist for eminent health hospitals, Queen of the Valley and Inner Community, Arcadia Methodist, San Dimas, and Kindred Hospitals. Additionally, he has a partnership with multiple infectious disease doctors with the Foothill Infectious Disease Group and Infusion Center of Claremont, California. He has cared for over 25,000 patients with COVID-19 per hospital statistics during the 6 waves of the pandemic. Dr. Jayasinghe is currently the chair of the internal medicine at the eminent hospitals and the chair of the infectious disease eminent and San Dimas hospitals. The health organization honored with him with a prestigious award for the work he has done all throughout the pandemic. And in June 2022, Dr. Jayasinghe has thus was honored and authored 10 newspaper articles, 10, on COVID-19 in Los Angeles, providing the much needed insight of ongoing COVID policy and changes and new therapeutics and vaccines. Also, he continues to be the medical educational speaker for the doctors and hospital staff on various subjects related to infectious diseases. Dr. Jayasinghe has delivered over 100 continued medical educational lectures on subjects like sepsis, COVID-19, new antibiotics in pipeline, HIV, diabetic infections, transplant-related infections, hospital-acquired infections, and most recently, monkeypox 2022 epidemic. He has published many scientific papers with the universities and hospitals, especially during COVID. Furthermore, he has delivered many academic lectures at various Sri Lankan organizations in Colombo, such as the Medical Association, College of the Physicians, College of Surgeons, College of Microbiologists, faculty at the Kota Lavala Medical Facility, and the Nawalakar. He is currently the medical director of the Sri Lanka Foundation International in Los Angeles, USA, and conducted many educational webinars on topics such as evolution of COVID-19 pandemic, COVID vaccines, new COVID treatments, CDC protocols, and spearheaded many charity projects related to COVID-19 pandemic, including projects related to Colombo National Hospital and many outstation hospitals in Sri Lanka, helping them in purchasing medical equipment, including the much-needed ICU beds, the ventilators, the BPAPs, and the high-flow respiratory machines and surgical consumables. I now invite Dr. Jayasinghe, Walter Jayasinghe, to present this award to Professor Jayasinghe. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. Traditionally, I start my or end my talks by singing a Michael Bublé number, which I won't do today because I was given warnings by my wife not to sing. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and this means a lot to us. COVID-19 pandemic is almost over. As you know, it has become a very predictable pandemic now, but still be careful. You got to do the right thing from your heart to protect you and protect your loved ones. But first of all, I would like to extend a very special thank you to Walter and Ayesha and the team, our vibrant team. As you know, I didn't do it by myself. The team led by Keshini, Shirani, Dishan, Achala, Chamod, all those guys worked very, very hard to make this happen. So this particular award is about teamwork, nothing to do with us. All I did and Dushanta did was we infused some medical knowledge into this. But the hard work was done by the greatest team ever. Give them a round of applause, please. And I was truly humbled by all the introductory remarks by our friend here, who actually pronounced my name right, which is very good. Yeah. Shout out to my school, Anand College. Absolutely. Yeah, I was at Anand for 12 years, not 1 or 2 years, 12 years, grade 1 to grade 12. And now we as ACOBA, the team is sitting right there at the table. We do what we can do to help the school by creating these scholarships and stuff. So if you want to recognize me, please do help ACOBA, Anand College Association. Shout out to Sri Lanka, University of Colombo Medical School. Absolutely, yeah. So they have been, I went there for 5 years, or actually longer because of these JVP issues at that time. But we as a medical organization, Slamana, we do a lot of stuff in front of you as well as behind the screen. We are not always in your face with all the charity work that we do. But beyond all those things, it was Sri Lanka Foundation who spearheaded the effort of educating our own community about COVID. COVID was completely devastating. We were completely petrified by COVID because everything was new about COVID. First few months we thought it was going to go away, but it wasn't the case, right? It raged across the globe, killing so many people, lives and livelihoods. So I think we need to be very, very aware of these real threats. Going forward, we don't know what will come next, but I think the simplest thing would be to keep ourselves healthy, common sense thinking, right? Keep ourselves healthy. We are not asking you to do a whole lot. We are asking you to keep your regular chronic medical problems at bay, and then make sure that you have the lung capacity by doing some exercise. Let me last of all, I don't want to take up too much time because it's my fervent hope is that we will be able to successfully prevent other infections by responsible vaccinations. As we know, we talked a lot about vaccinations and therapeutics. I had a tremendous group of people, of course, headed by Prof. Dushanta Jayavira, who taught me a lot about COVID-19, and Prof. Suranjit Senaratne from Oxford, Prof. Malik Piris from University of Hong Kong, to name a few. I learned a lot from them, and through that knowledge, we managed to share that knowledge with you. So going forward, I would like to leave you with a word of wisdom before I sign off. It is not all about science and technology going forward. It is a lot about common sense thinking. A common sense thinking will save you from death and devastation going forward. But I still have to say a word of thanks to my lovely family, my lovely wife, Rashani, my lovely kids, Arindra, Dr. Arindra, and Avishka for being there for me and during this time and keeping me grounded. Without them, their support, their love, I wouldn't have been standing here. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, Dushanta.
All right, we have another Outstanding Community Service Award winner tonight. So let's give it up for Professor Dushanta Jayavira. Professor Jayavira. For his excellence in research and clinical work in HIV, HCV, and COVID-19 disaster relief and humanitarian work. Professor Jayavira, MD, FASP, MRCOG, CIP, is a professor in clinical medicine at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. Professor Jayavira is awarded the Outstanding Community Service for his focus on research that is centered on understanding the factors that impact communities of color and minorities, which have been long ignored over many, many years, right? For his leadership in handling disaster relief efforts, and additionally for his dedication during the recent pandemic to positively impact the public through outreach by educating people on their health. As a member of the Rotary Club, he has collected money from Florida clubs, and with matching grants from the Rotary International, donated close to $200,000 to the Gall hospitals to purchase equipment. In 2012, he was appointed Associate Vice Provost for the Human Subject Research, overseeing the activities of ethics communities and serving as a liaison between these communities and senior institution leadership. When COVID pandemic affected Sri Lanka, he started working with the Colombo Medical School and other leaders in Colombo to come up with plans to obtain essential medical items for patient care in Sri Lanka. He has worked with Sri Lanka Foundation very closely in fundraising and was involved in the medical webinars. Dr. Jayavira was appointed as the Executive Dean for Research and Research Education for the Miller School of Medicine in September 2015. He was the Associate Vice Provost for Human Subject Protection prior to his appointment. Dr. Jayavira has over 20 years of experience with HIV and serves as the Director of HIV, HCV Co-Infection Clinic. He's received grants that support from the National Institutes of Drug Abuse, the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and the National Science Foundation. Wow, we're not done, friends. He has been involved in the emerging infectious. He has started working on the HIV and the beginning of the pandemic, hepatitis C in 2000, Zika in 2018, and COVID-19 in 2020. Over the last 20 years, he has received research funding from all these diseases. He was the principal investigator for the University of Miami and funded by the NIH on the Janssen vaccine, convalescent plasma for inpatients, and the ACTOV6 platform studies. Please join me and Dr. Walter Jayasinghe will present the award to Professor Jayavira.
I think, thank you very much. First of all, I want to take the opportunity to thank Walter and Aisha and Dylan and the crew that Deepthi mentioned. First of all, I want to thank Deepthi. Deepthi is the one who brought me to Sri Lanka Foundation, so I have a round of applause to Deepthi for bringing me to this amazing group of people, the Sri Lankan Foundation. I am so energized by you. And of course, it's my friend Keshini and Sharani and Achala and Chamod who fixes all our problems and our webinars, so I'm really grateful. So the bad thing about going as the last speaker is because everything you plan, somebody else has said it. So, I mean, even the jokes, some people have cracked it. So I'm in a really bad situation here, you know. So, but before I get further, let me recognize my wife, Kamli. She's the one she's the better half in every way. The looks, definitely. And of course, common sense most of the time. And I'm really delighted that I am with her and my kids, Sonali and Dinali. And my sister, who is here, Ira, who brought me up like my mother, and I love her as much as my mother and my niece and my friends, and of course Pepe and his son. So that's my family. No, I was supposed to say that, but everybody else has said that too. So let me give you a brief synopsis of how I became compassionate. I think it came from my Buddhist upbringing in Sri Lanka, and most of all, my family, my parents. I learned compassion very early, and I learned about impermanence of life because when I was 8, my older sister died of a C-section on the table. And I couldn't understand how, she was a physician herself, how a doctor could die at a C-section on the table. And then I realized what Buddha said, siludema anatyai, that means that everything is temporary. And as soon as we recovered, our family had another tragedy. My second sister, who was a physician, died of a brain tumor. Then I realized there was nothing called me. If I live for others, then I live happy. That started my journey of serving others. And this is what I teach my medical students. I teach my medical students that if you're going to be a doctor, you have to learn to live for others, not for yourself. Money will come and go. I really appreciate Walter and his family for what they have done with what they earn, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So let me briefly tell you about my wife who have supported me and how things happen. I'll give you a little bit of tidbits of what I thought. We heard so much about science, but I want to teach you about the soul, And I think Yasanta was talking about the curiosity that brings up the best of people and, of course, perseverance. What Einstein said was the imagination, almost the same thing that what he said. Imagination is far more important than intelligence. For example, Steve Jobs, or all these guys who did tech, it's their imagination, because the technology was easy, but the imagination to put things together, connect the dots, that's what matters. So, going back to my point, my charity life, there are a couple of things that I want to share with you. One was my trip to Honduras. When Hurricane Mitch happened in Honduras, La Lima was devastated. 11,000 people had died. And the United States was pretty generous at that time. They gave us a whole plane load. We had the U.S. Southern Command in South Florida. And they said, okay, we'll give you a plane with all the medicines, go and do something. So I was the medical officer who went there. And I had never seen so much tragedy about people's houses completely devastated. I used to see 125 patients in a school, and some of them have never seen a physician, never. And the first time we were diagnosing diabetes. Fast forward to Haiti. I had planned to go to Vietnam with my family for a vacation, and the earthquake happens in Haiti, where 200,000 people died. And the University of Miami decided that we are going to put up a field hospital at the Port-au-Prince airport. And I'm the guy who volunteers first for these things. So the second week I was there. We were told, we'll give you a cot and water. The rest, you're on your own. You have to bring your own food if you're going to go there. So what we did was we took, I'm kind of stupid, I took power bars, how many power bars can you eat for a day? So I'd at least take some nuts, I forgot to take some nuts. So we go there, and I can tell you, I have seen unspeakable tragedies in Haiti. In the morning, I will look at the pediatric ward where there are about 30 to 40 kids with their hands cut off, legs cut off because crush injury to save their lives. There was one night in the middle of a storm. I was sleeping under a tent, and there was a thunderstorm, and the water is flowing under about 8 inches of water under my cot. And I'm wearing scrubs, and my shoes are floating, so I had to quickly grab my shoes and put them on the side of this thing. A mother is brought in labor in the middle of the storm, and I'm the chief medical officer, so I get called and I go and see. And I had an obstetric background because, for some of you who know, I started as an obstetrician. So I looked at the mother, short, primey. I know she needs a C-section in the middle of Haiti, with no power, nothing. How am I going to get a C-section done? And then the mother falls at my feet and tells me, can you save my child? It reminded me of my sister who died. It was devastating to me. But I promised her I am not going to let her die. So I stood with her. We were waiting till the sun came up. But the worst part was, the tragedy is not the pregnant mother. The tragedy was that in this large tent, the tent was about this size. At about 1:30 in the morning, a child is brought, 14 years old, with tetanus. And she was having convulsions. I mean, they are spasms, not really seizures, but spasms. Continuously spasms. And the anesthesiologist was trying to intubate and sort of, try to paralyze and try to control this. In the middle of this, she arrests and she dies. And the scream of the mother, I would never forget the rest of my life. And in that hall, there were a lot of nurses and people, assisting. Everybody was crying, including me. Everybody. Even the mother who brought the daughter in labor was crying. Not for her child, for the little child at 14 who died of tetanus, who should have never died. Should have never died. And those are the tragedies that you see. So these are the things I teach my medical students. If you want to go into this profession, this is who you want to be. And I always say that I'd much rather have a Mother Teresa than an Einstein by my bedside. You may not be able to cure every disease, but you can relieve suffering. All you have to do is to hold a hand and say, don't worry, I will do whatever I can take to make yours better. So ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing high-tech. This is very simple. This is how you do community service and caring for sick with your heart, with a little bit of brain. And I want to thank Walter and Tijan and the Sri Lanka Foundation with all my colleagues who have done so much with what they have. And we have so much to do for Sri Lanka and the rest of the world. As you see, all of us have a little bit of Sri Lanka in you. Anything bad happens in Sri Lanka, something little dies inside you. And we have to remember that. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jayasinghe. So, this next award winner, I've known for quite some time. Some would say all my life. I am a little nervous about what happens when he comes up here, but let me start off by the wonderful bio that my uncle Dushan Carrera has provided for me to read. So here it is, everybody. Maximus Prelal Carrera. Yes, the President's Award winner. Here it is. Maximus Prelal Carrera for his excellence in exceptional philanthropic services for the betterment of the Sri Lankan community. He is a retired agent of the Internal Revenue Service for over 30 years, which, by the way, he will remind you on many occasions. The other thing is, Mr. Prelal Carrera is awarded the President's Award for his invaluable contribution to donate his time, money, experience, skills, and talent to create a better world for his genuine belief in the value of human life. And I can tell you that's absolutely true firsthand. My father is awarded the Sri Lankan community he came here in the early, in the early 90s, well, he came in the 80s, but in the early 90s, there was a yearning from the Sri Lankan community here, a yearning for entertainment to call their own. Prelal and his close associates and cultural maestro, Ananda Markalanda. Yeah, that's right. Brought in the first batch of Lankan singers and dancers in the collaboration with Sri Lanka-American Association to plant the seed of Lankan culture in Southern California. Many moons later actually, Sri Lanka Foundation started its own Sri Lanka Day, bringing in beautiful Sri Lankan talent to SoCal for their own. This is definitely not a word I would use, so Dushanbapi. This serendip style culture was showcased at real time and some outstanding choreography as seen in the domain of classical arts in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan Foundation brainstormed and wanted a different dimension. They wanted to make it bigger. They wanted to make it grander, right? As you all know, that's what Dr. J does for us. And he brought the Sri Lanka Day Pageant Parade to the world famous exact location of the Rose Parade. And there, they built a parade route that had floats dedicated to the culture of our island paradise. The only gladiator who could conquer this enormous task with pinpoint logistics was none other than Maximus Prelau Carrera. That's right. That's right. And with that, I invite Dr. J to please give my father, I am very proud to say, the President's Award, everybody.
A big thank you to Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Mrs. Jayasinghe. I must thank the foundation and the three ladies there, plus the others. It's, Shirani, Keshini, and Nachela. Also, I must thank my wife, Rasanti. Why should I should thank my wife for putting up with me. All right, so let's see. Generally, sometimes on a Friday, I will call and two of us will say we'll have a few friends, 20, we'll organize it has to be a community thing, maybe a meeting or a fundraiser or something, to do with the community. Anyway, she will always help me. And we don't order food, we cook at home. So anything, maybe 30, 40, 50, doesn't matter, we will have it. This award is given to me, I think, for community work. Let me tell you something. True, I have helped a few people, but I have got a lot of help from the community. I'm telling you. In fact, when they told me that I was getting this award, I thought, you know what, it's a great occasion to thank everybody who I got help. So I jotted down the notes, names. I came up with about 295 names, and most of you are here. And yesterday I told Keshini, I'm going to read these names out. She looked at me, are you nuts? You're given only 3 minutes. You're not going to read all these names. So let me tell you, most of you guys' names are here. Hey Pradeep, I know your name is here too. I can show you that. Yeah, the guy thinks that I'm kidding here. No. So also, let me tell you, I have some few names I'll mention. As I said in my, what they have written in that. I have to thank Ananda Makalanta, my good friend, for all the cultural events, talent shows, for protest marches, for the community, for the Sri Lanka, for the country, and all that. He's a great guy. We are missing him today. I don't know, he has gone to Sacramento, I think. Then Dr. Mohan Kumar Ratna for the Ranaviru project. Few of us who really did that project, we are very proud. And we did achieve that. So, Mohan, thank you very much. And then I must thank Mr. Sanjeeva Gunasekara. I did the temple project, the temple, building of a temple. Yes, and most of you, I can see a lot of you who contributed to that temple, Lanka-Rama temple in La Puente. It is a beautiful temple. Came out very nice, and I will be talking about the priest. And yes, ultimately the designs are done by Reverend Sumriti Samduru and myself. But a lot of people contributed. It's a beautiful temple. If you get a chance, please go and visit the Lanka-Rama temple. Then also, I must thank Ms. Shiran Salgado, my good friend Shiran. We did the fundraiser together and helped on all this. You know, there are a lot of other things that we did. So let me tell you about this community of Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka here in Los Angeles. This is one of the best communities that you can have in most part of the world, in other capitals. Our community is very united, very, very helpful. You know, you remember recently in New York, that community, that's a little bit, that doesn't happen here, I'll tell you. So, but our community is very united. And I still remember when we had the floats, right? We organized the 3 days before the parade. We all of us get together and do the decorations and the making of the floats. And we are competing with each other, this organization, the community. But everybody helps each other. We have our food, the drinks, and also the music, but that's a great community. Now, now I must take this opportunity. I have to take this opportunity to thank the late Venerable Sumaniti Sahamuru. He was an advisor and a good friend of mine. Friend to me, actually. You know, he died 3 years ago. Just before, maybe about a year ago, before that, there was the temple, we finished the temple project, and we had to get the non-profit status. I'll tell you about that. So, Dr. Jayasinghe, Walter Jayasinghe, and Mrs. Jayasinghe bought a parking lot. The temple needed a parking lot to achieve that. And that parking lot was gifted by Dr. Jayasinghe. Today, it is worth over $1 million, I'm telling you. So, when the Hamduro was leaving to get his kidney transplant, I was very closely associated with it, and 2 months later, I visited Sri Lanka and I visited him at his deathbed. He held my hand and he said, "Priya Matya, mata me deka karala dennu." Manko Swamina said, "Bhai Vendepa, I'll do it, don't worry." And one request, he said, was to get the non-profit status for this temple, so that we can get, once you get the non-profit status from the city hall, right? What happens is I'll tell you. So it took me 3 years. COVID came, but fighting the city hall, it's not easy. And last week, just last week, I got the good news saying that we have got everything approved. And that will be a final public meeting in February. So which means, this is what it means when you get the non-profit status. That means no property taxes for the temple and the parking lot for the two properties. That's a saving of about $20,000 for a year. And I'm very proud we are saving that kind of money for this temple. Right? I'm a born Christian, but I'm very much involved with the Sri Lankan temple and the communities. A lot of priests call me, but that's okay. I'm helping as much as we can. And so, as I said about the community, now, let me talk to you about the PERAHERA name, my last name. Hey, a lot of events here with the PERAHERA name. And I want to, it's not only me. I have two brothers here. Can I get them here? Can I get my two brothers, Samantha and Vishanta, here over? These two guys, along with me, these two guys really help this community, okay? And I want these two guys to come here. So it's not only the brothers, it has gone to the next generation. My son Tivanta too, helping the community. So, hey, come here. So look at.
He wants you to go there. Sorry.
Look at these three guys. Look at the three of us, right? We are brothers, right? We are so much identical. I mean, we are identical twins. I mean, triplets, right? Let me tell you, this is my younger brother. He's this is like the good, bad, and ugly. Okay, this is the good guy. He's the current president of the Sri Lanka Association. He's a good organizer. He does parties. He can organize events, trips, and everything. He's the handsome guy out of this lot. That's the ugly guy, the tall guy. And then he's a creator, a creative writing guy. The guy can write, about this. He wrote about the Gladiator, right? I can talk about that. I don't have time, but I will do. And then I'm the bad guy, the fat guy. I am the logistic guy. And generally, I bark all the orders, generally. So, now, that's, let me tell you the motto with the Sri community, with the PERAHERAs. For the PERAHERAs, no community task is big. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finalize this speech. We're talking about the community, right? You're talking about me helping the community and the community helping me. Let me tell you something. This community, this Los Angeles community, won't be the same, or will not be the same. We have a couple. Look at the show today. Look at this. 500 people here, gathered here. Okay? I mean, this couple has really done. They organized Sri Lanka Day. This couple organized a parade, a float. Then they go and purchase and give temples to the community. They help different organizations, help individuals. So, I know I'm going to mention their name now, but before that, I want all of you to please stand up and give a rousing applause to the couple, that is Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Mrs. Jayasinghe.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, my great pleasure is to recognize this gentleman. He is beyond borders, Christian, Buddhist church, Christian church, anywhere. There was a mosque, he will go there. He will help anybody, anywhere, anytime, for any genuine need. And that's why he's been given this award. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say about that.
Next, we have the Sri American of the Year 2022, and it's Mr. Keith Ranga. Keith Ranga for his excellence as an artist, a humanitarian, and a community leader. He has been the top agent for 14 years at Colonial Life Insurance, Los Angeles Public Sector, an actor and a producer in the future films of Sri Lanka. Keith Ranga is awarded the Sri American of the Year for his humanitarian principles to advocate for the survival, well-being and dignity of people. He has delivered assistance to those in need without any adverse distinction. In 2006, he was elected as the president of the Sri Lanka-American Association of Southern California. In 2006, Keith Ranga organized the very first cultural show for Sri Lanka Independence Day, collaborating with the Consul General of Sri Lanka. About 100 performers took part in this, which was witnessed by hundreds of foreign diplomats and a large crowd of people from our community. In 2006, Keith Ranga took the leadership to organize the very first Parade of Lanka. This was at the Santa Monica Promenade, which was hosted by the Sri Lanka Foundation International, USA. In 2007, Keith Ranga coordinated the very first Run Rack production that introduced the Sinhala cinema to the new Sri Lankan-American younger generation. These productions provided an opportunity to many young Sri Lankan-American kids to be involved in the Los Angeles movie arena. Also in 2007, he organized the Tea Expo, collaborated with the Sri Lankan Consulate Office in Los Angeles to promote the Sri Lankan Buddhist temples in Los Angeles. He has supported many Sri Lankan social and cultural events by volunteering his services. In 2017, Keith Ranga took the leadership to showcase the Parade Lanka in the Rose Parade route in Pasadena at the Sri Lanka Day. He has received the following awards: Young Sri Lankan Artist Award 2018, presented by the Los Angeles Run Rack Foundation for his extraordinary contribution to the Sri Lankan cinema, promoting Sri Lankan Culture Appreciation Award that was presented by the Sri Lanka Foundation International in Los Angeles for his valuable services in organizing and conducting the Parade of Lanka on Sri Lanka Day 2017. The Leadership Award from the Sri Lanka-American Association in 2013, and a Certificate of Appreciation that was presented by the Consul General of Sri Lanka in 2011. These were for his services rendered towards the community. A Certificate of Appreciation that was presented for his excellent leadership qualities by the Sri Lanka-American Association in 2005 and 2006. Top Salesman of the Year 2017 by Colonial Life Insurance Company. I now call upon Dr. Walter Jayasinghe to present the award to Mr. Keith Ranga.
Thank you, thank you. The founder of Sri Lanka Foundation, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Mrs. Jayasinghe, Sri Lankan Foundation President, Dishan Jayasinghe, ladies and gentlemen, and all the wonderful, excellent awardees. I am amazed to be standing on this platform because I see the talent around the world. First of all, I'm so proud to be a Sri Lankan American. That's in my soul and my blood. We are so proud of Dr. Walter Jayasinghe for what he's doing. The talent, can you believe? The beauty of this award ceremony, it's not only our Los Angeles Sri Lankans, it's around the world. I was surprised because we had that cocktail hour last night. I met so many professors, doctors around the world. It's amazing. I said, my name to be on this list? Yes. It's 17 years. Actually, I didn't even get ready with a speech, but I have so much experience with the Sri Lankan community, with the foundation, to speak up. I don't know what I'm going to say because I know everybody's going to repeat the same thing. So I said, okay, let me see, because I have so much experience with the Sri Lankan Los Angeles community. So actually my memories are running back to 2006 when I was elected as the young president of the Sri Lanka-American Association of Southern California. That really made me a man to be strong and to go with this community. So I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Jam Ratnam for having a foundation like that. Then again, my first task, being the Sri Lankan president of Southern California, my former ex-president Keshini Vijay Gunaratne came and said, hey Keith, I'm out. I promised to give the Sri Lanka parade. It's all your baby now, carried out. So I was so confused. oh my God, how? And she said, because Keshini make you really fear, right? She gave a lot of pressure. She said, this is going to be the first parade, Lanka parade. You have to do it, that's it. So thank God I got it done. I'm so proud. That was his first Sri Lanka parade in Santa Monica. So from that onwards, we have been closely working with the Sri Lankan Foundation. Also, I started Run One Rap with my dear friend Palita Kaswarachi. 2008, we did the show and donated all the money for the cancer hospital. Also, 2010, we donated the money to disabled soldiers in Sri Lanka. 2012, we gave a scan to the Lady Ridgeway Hospital. Also 2014, we did a meditation center. Also 2018, we got 30 families water in a remote village, Alimankada, that area. So we have done a lot. Let me go back to 2017. I get a call from Dr. Jayasinghe. He said, Keith, I need to talk to you, because doctor don't talk a lot, and he's very positive. Dr. Jayasinghe said, Keith, man, I went and saw those Sri Lanka parade. I'm going to get it out, man. I don't like this, a Mickey Mouse job. It's just going in the mall. I'm going to take it off. I just told my staff I want to see all the parades, and he questioned staff, who did this? Yes, I did about 3 parades for the foundation. Dr. Walter said, the 3 you did was excellent. I want you to take off, otherwise I'm going to take it out of the agenda. So, actually I was a busy guy into movies at that time, but Dr. Walter, how can you say no to Dr. Walter, right? We cannot say no to Dr. Walter Jayasinghe. He's the biggest pillar for the Sri Lankan community. I said, okay, doctor, I will meet you in the office. So I go to Sri Lanka Foundation. So here I see Dr. Walter. He said, so are you going to do it? I said, one condition. Doctor, I like to do, because I don't do Mickey Mouse work, doctor. On one condition, I want the Colorado Boulevard. He said, okay. And I said, I want floats this time. I want floats. So I'm proud to say I am the creator of the float. So he said, how are you going to do the floats? I said, we're going to start with golf carts, and let's see. So we started with golf, and he said, man, I'm not going to spend money to make 10 floats. I said, doctor, you don't have to spend. Let's get all the association, all the temples to do their own floats, right? So let's get a team. So we got it done. It was a successful Sri Lankan day. Let me tell you another secret. Nobody knows this. So the parade finished, and I got a call again to doctor's office. So doctor said, Keith, thank you, excellent. He said, he gave me an envelope, and he said, this is for you. I said, okay, thank you, doctor, I didn't expect this. So I went home, I didn't even open the envelope. I was making good money at that time too, so I said, okay, maybe, okay, so I opened the envelope. Doctor told me don't tell anyone, but that's Dr. Walter. So it's not 5,000, it's not 6,000, it's not 7,000, it's not 8,000, it's not 9,000, right? That's all I had to say, but thank you. Also, I am so proud to be here with this award, because this award it's under my name, Keith Ranga, but this belongs to the Los Angeles community. Okay? මේ සම්මානය මගේ නමින් තිබුණට මට අත හිත දුන් මගේ යහළුවෝ සහෝදරයෝ හිතවතු ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඇමරිකාවේ පදිංචි ලොස් ඇන්ජලිස් පදිංචි මගේ යාළුවෝ තමයි මේ තැනට මාව ගෙනාවේ. ඉතින් මම හුඟක් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. Thank you each and everybody. I thank God in heaven for giving me the blessings, my mom and dad in heaven, or my family like a shadow, all my friends and family. Can you hear all are screaming? They're all getting ready for this event. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keith Ranga. Yeah. All right. We have a special award to be given.
This award is a surprise to everybody. There's this young lady to whom I wrote this letter. Dear Sanjeevani, She's there. On behalf of Sri Lanka Foundation, I would like to personally thank you for volunteering for Sri Lanka Day and other events of the Foundation for the last 15 years. Our events would not have been a success without the help of volunteers like you. Your willingness, your dedication, and invaluable time as a volunteer is very much appreciated. Thank you very much for your magnificent support for Sri Lanka Foundation and the community and there it serves. Your help to maintain excellence. And here is the award.
Sanji!
You have to tell something.
Sanji!
You have to tell something. Okay.
Oh, what a wonderful lady.
Okay, so I've been here doing all the talking today. This is a total surprise for me, and first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Walter Jayasinghe for this wonderful, wonderful appreciation, which I was totally not expecting, and Auntie Ayesha Jayasinghe. If not for both of you, I think I wouldn't have got this opportunity to be involved in our Los Angeles community, volunteering for all these services, and with the avenues, the doors that you opened up for the people, lots of other people got an opportunity to be a part of it. So I want to take a moment to thank you all, and I know we already did this, but I also think we owe, as Sri Lankans, we are proudly able to go anywhere and say that we are Sri Lankans here in a foreign land, in a foreign country, especially with the foundation that was laid for us by Dr. Walter Jayasinghe. So can we please give him another standing ovation, because regardless of how many times we thank him, I don't think the services he has done for our country is ever going to be enough. Thank you, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe, Auntie Ayesha Jayasinghe, Dishan, and everyone, and the Sri Lanka Foundation for always doing this for our Sri Lankan community and for giving us an opportunity to take the Sri Lankan flag fly super high. Thank you, everyone, for being with us here today. And I'm so sorry for my voice, because this morning I actually woke up losing my voice, and I tried to keep it going. But now we've come towards the end of the program, and I feel like I'm losing it again. But I want to thank you all for bearing with us, and thank you once again to the Sri Lanka Foundation. You may be seated.
Give it up for Saji! We are now at the end of our show, but we have one last wonderful surprise for everyone. Saji, does your voice have it in you? I'm gonna hold it for you. Do you have it in you to tell them our last surprise for the audience here?
And I want to thank Tivata for his support that he gave me today to, continue through the program, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do this. Now I call upon Ms. Taranga Gunathilaka, a world-renowned soprano opera singer who was the first Sri Lankan woman to attend the renowned Juilliard School in New York City. She has performed across the globe, won many competitions, decorated with many awards, including the 2005 Sri Lanka Foundation Outstanding Performance by a Young Professional Award. Taranga will be accompanied by the amazing pianist Nicholas Roller, who has performed in Italy, Austria, Germany, and throughout the United States in venues such as the San Francisco Opera, Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Romani Seal in Salzburg, Casa Verdi in Milan, and the Steinway House in Munich. Please enjoy their wonderful performance, and it's a true musical treat for all of you. Let's give a big round of applause for Taranga and Nicholas.
Hello everyone. Good evening. I'm Taranga Gunathilaka, and Nicholas is over there. Thank you, Nicholas, for collaborating with me today. I won't take too long. I'm going to perform for you an operatic aria by none other than Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. This is from the opera Così fan tutte, the aria's name is Come Staglio. And if you take it out of the context of the opera itself, I'm not going to explain the plot of the opera, it's completely complicated, but if you take it out of the context, what it really says is that this person who says these beautiful Italian words is so focused on what it is that is in her heart that she's not going to allow anything else to get in its way. So she's ambitious, and she's proud, and she's focused, and she says that she's like a rock that would not be swayed by even the greatest tempest. This is Come Staglio by Mozart. Sortire fuori di questo loco Si
Kelly. I don't know if you usually take requests from the audience, but I got a request for you to sing some Sinhalese bars. Why not? You know what? Sure. Good luck, friend.
Oh my gosh. I moved to Sri Lanka as a freshman, in college. That was like 20 years back. But, all right, so let's see. Why not, right?
Why not? Take a question, but you should from now on. Massive round of applause, and with that concludes the 2022 Sri Lanka Foundation Award. The dance floor is open! Have a good night, everybody!
Those happy hours like we once knew.
Thank you. Your achievements are Sri Lanka Foundation's pride.